the thunder! This better be good.
Yes, so we're gonna hop into fifth place match from the tournament. We're gonna go over Akita versus Tamilian. Yeah, so let's watch Kita versus Tem. This was for the fifth place match, and I can't remember the prize pool right now, but the whole tournament was $800, and some of that $800 was for the fifth place, and I can't remember how much, but definitely some prize pool on the line for whoever won this match. So yeah, fifth place match. The people from the top 8 bracket lost, and they got to play like a mini tournament, like all 4 players that lost in the top 8 got to play like a small tournament, and this was that small portion of the tournament's finals, the fifth place match. Let's go ahead and get onto it.
Okay, we got Kita versus Tamilian, huh?
Yeah, I still need to change. Let's see, Kita versus Tim.
It's gonna be a ZVZ. Surprising nobody, the first game is a ZVZ. It's a very common theme throughout the entire tournament. We'll see. I actually like the ZVZ matchup, if I'm being honest. I think that there's different ways to play it. Lots of players like to open with like 5 meta. Other players like to be kind of Ling heavy.
Yeah, we saw that in the finals, right? Like I like primarily I like David Master's Ling approach, and I think this is what we're seeing Tamilian do here. A more Ling heavy approach is my favorite. This is a lot of Lings, by the way. I think we've seen like 6, 8, 9 different reasons for going different amounts of Zerglings. Losing middle here is terrible for Kita, and Kita is just gonna open with the Muta. We saw this play out in Shashka versus David in the finals, where Shashka decided to go just Mass Hydra.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think that... So, Zerg has different, we'll call it, like, efficiencies, right, on the different unit costs. I think that, like, Zerglings on the ground and Muta in the air, you just get a lot of value for spending, what is it, 20 minerals and 80 minerals, right? 20 minerals for a Zergling and 80 minerals for a Muta. Those 2 units are just, like, just overperform. And so when your early game composition is Ling Muta, I think that you're in a really good shape. I mean, this game... Tamilian maybe added the units at a bit of a weird pacing, and so he's found himself behind, but I'm going to make a prediction that he's going to take mid here pretty soon.
But actually you're right. The Tamilian's Muta survive here, and they're going to stack, and that's going to be absolutely amazing. Now he's going to... yep, he takes middle by... Oh, just for a second, alright. But I think that the Lings make such a huge difference, dude, when they're on the board. Like, look, they distract the army. They're gonna snipe off a Hydra. Oh, no, okay. No, actually. Alright, Kita's gonna win this? No, I'm surprised by this.
I think Tamilian saved... He had a bit of money in reserve there. In that wave.
Oh, okay, that makes sense, yeah. I'm so confused. Yeah. You make the units, you should never lose that.
Yeah, because like right here he's gonna win, right? He's just you know, not to say anything bad against Tamilian, he's a strong player. I think he isn't super familiar with like 1v1s. As a lot of like for example, like I'm not very familiar with 1v1s. Like I'm the type of player who would you know, maybe not spend all my money in time. So it's
I think the main problem with Tim here is he's back and not front. And that's given, he's not contesting the middle at all. Each time they fight, it's on his side of it's in his side of the lane, right? And that's really bad because Kita's, like, he's getting away with murder here. The Tamilian won one wave, that should be enough for him to just take middle from there and keep middle forever and ever. But since he's back, that means he loses middle. And then he's getting really bad engagement from the Lings. You want the Lings to be behind the Roach Hydra. You want the Hydras to connect with your Mutas, with your Roaches, not necessarily for them to connect with your Lings. And Yeah, him being back is just not helping at all. You can see now he moves completely front, switches to Swarm Host. So he's just
He sells the
recognizing.
muta.
Yeah, oh, that's okay. That's a good point. Sells the muta. Yeah, he's just transitioning
Which
into
is
a
fine.
later portion of the game.
Yep. Yeah.
But he's dead. He should die here. It's gonna take a while, so I'm gonna speed this up. But Kita's on the driver's seat for sure.
Yeah, I would say
Tim
I don't know,
plays well.
if he doesn't lose
Good
cannon on
units,
this
good
wave,
strat.
I think he will lose cannon this wave, but if he doesn't lose cannon this wave, I think he can win.
I really like
The Queen Swarm Host
ahead,
is
yeah.
just gonna okay, he will lose cannon. Never mind. Okay, game over.
Yeah, game's been over.
I thought he stood a chance of holding on to cannon for a few more waves, and then eventually he was gonna build up a stack. But
No chance, bro. No chance.
yeah.
Hydra DPS
So I
is
will
so
say
high.
this. So early on we were talking, I was like, Ling Meta are just very efficient for their cost. They can allow you to sort of take an advantage over your opponent. So I will say this. There is a caveat to that statement, and that caveat is the Ling Muta is very strong and can allow you to take an early advantage. If you don't sort of leverage that into taking mid and holding on to it, then I mean,
Yeah, it's
exactly what you said. The Ling is like go in front of your other units. You want them to kind of sweep in from behind, not be out in front, and it's pretty bad after that.
Yeah, Roach Hydra is really like the killer in CVC, right? Whoever's winning can just afford a more Roach Hydra and just win. That's what you really want. The Lings just help you win the early game, but you need to transition that into Roach Hydra as soon as possible. Like you're trying to get middle, you're trying to basically sheep middle in any way possible with Ling Muta, and then just immediately transition into Roach Hydra, keep middle and push. And I think that's where Timillion failed, because Timillion, since he was at the back, he wasn't at the middle. Sorry, he was in front in his board. He was at the back, not front. He couldn't keep middle, and that's what made him lose. Like he was able to sheet out middle, but not keep it, and then he lost from there. So that's his own mistake there.
Yeah, that's fair. Hey, that's life in ZVZ, you know? Particularly 1v1 ZVZ. It's like, you make a mistake and you don't get to...
Absolutely right.
You don't get to be like, well, I'll fix that in 2 waves from now. It's like, no, you just lost mid and now life is really sad.
Yes.
So, yeah. That's
There's
fair.
very few compositions that give you that leeway of coming back at any moment. Very, very few. And as time goes on, people, since there are very commonly used strats, like let's say in 3v3 there's BCs, there's always the pressure of BC stacking and winning, or libs. But as time's gone on, we just figured out the counter of those units, and the comeback potential is less and less.
Yeah, if your opponents are experienced and know what to do, sure. Alright, there's not much else to say about this game. I'm gonna grab a coffee, and whenever 2 million decides to throw in the towel, I'm sure I'll be back.
Alright, well, he's starting to stack a lot of Corruptors and Lurker Swarm Hosts, which, well, it forces your opponent to scan, and that kind of puts him at a deficit. Because even if you're ahead on middle, if you have to keep scanning every wave and your opponent is stacking, that's really bad for you. And that is what Timillion is being able to do here. He's been able to stack a big Corruptor count, a big Swarm Host Lurker count, somewhat. But the issue is, even though you can stack at mid, you can stack at your base, and you can kind of stack in this portion here, the real big problem is getting past middle. That's where you really struggle a lot as a Zerg. Like, you can farm your Queen Swarm Host stack, but here at the middle, your opponent has the same army comp, so at some point you're gonna start stacking him, and I think that's what we're seeing here. Look, Timillion's Corruptor count just goes down the drain, and now it's Kita stacking a lot of Corruptors, and this is what happens in CVZ. both armies are so big on stock that if you push your opponent, you're really pushing yourself. So it comes down to a number games of who has more, and who has more, well, whoever has mid. So I think this game is gonna be over quite quickly. Yep, Kita's going for it, and he goes for the kill. I think that has to be manual Ruptor. Caustic spray, pretty good. And GG.
All right, looks like looks like the game ended the way we predicted.
Yeah, of course, of course. So it's ZVZ.
Yeah, I mean that's life in a mirror matchup. You know, game is won and lost pretty early on, so you have to can't make mistakes.
Okay,
But,
can you
no.
leave?
Oh. But
Thank you.
let's fire up game 2. Yeah, I would say Tamilian had the right idea. Definitely, he had in my opinion, at least, a superior like unit composition for the early game.
He did so much better.
And
If he just gun front,
yeah,
easy win.
even like when he fought from behind, like he fought a little bit of leak and still managed to win one of those waves with 3 meta left over. Like he should have been able to kind of leverage that into a win.
Yep.
Um,
But being back
yeah.
is just so painful in 1v1. Alright, game number 2, let's
Yeah.
go. I think this is a TVT. Yep, TVT.
Oh, is it? Tamilian rolled Terran for the random? Okay.
He played random?
He did, yep. Yeah, Akita chose Terran, opting to not accidentally roll into Protoss, and yeah, I think Tamilian will win this because I think the 3 Reaper is better than the 3 Marauder, but we'll see. Now
Yeah, Tim, look at
Tamilian also just has like superior unit positioning too with the Marauder out in front. Really good. Marauder will like soak 2 hits and then get bounced around and then really good.
Oh, Kita's autoing a lot of his Reapers. He used a lot of Reaper grenades.
Ah, I did notice that.
And
That's
Tim
not-
is microing his Reaper, so he's getting value while Kita's getting no value out of his Reapers.
Interesting.
This
Both
is
of them add
TVT
2
in a
Marines.
nutshell, man.
Yeah. Let me bring up the production tab. I want to see if either player starts up tier 2. I wouldn't mind Kita just starting tier 2 right now, because to be honest, he's not turning this back at this point with the bio versus bio.
No, Tamilian's so far ahead, and Tamilian, you
Oh,
can
yeah.
tell he's far ahead because he's starting to add Marines, starting to prepare for a T2 transition from Kita, and Kita's adding his own Marines. Like, I'm so confused by that. He's losing. I don't know why
Oh,
he's adding
bunker down.
Marines. He should
Game's
be
over.
adding opposite Marines. He needs more Marauder Reaper to win. But he's auto microing, like he's auto grenading, so he's gonna gas up twice, and he's gonna start going for T2. So that's Kita's plan. That's why he didn't T2 earlier. He was gassing up. And
Yeah.
Tim is gonna go T2 before even having gas.
I mean, Tamilian played it beautifully. I think that he had the better open, right? 3 Reaper is better than 2 Marauder, in my opinion. The 3 Marauder. And then he just did everything he needed to do after that. So, he just making. I mean, it sounds like it's complicated, but he just kept making bio and and won.
He kept adding Marauder Reaper, had the right opener, right? The 3 Reaper, 2 Marauder, and he microed better than Kita. And yeah. Now Kita tried to go for the sneaky Banshee, trying to see if his opponent was T2 or not, and Tim was T2, and that's really bad. And now Tim is gonna add these medevacs. These medevacs, they're not really meant to. Their main purpose should be to distract, to spread the army, right? Because if you have your medevacs, the Marines separate from the Marauder Reaper. don't think they contribute a whole lot. Like, medevac's usually not the defining factor in bio versus bio battles.
Yeah, they're nice though when you're ahead. Like, I don't know.
I think like, Tamilian has to just add Mass Marine from here, then try to prepare to see if Kita's gonna try to come back via libs or via tanks, and then counter whichever one Kita chooses to do.
Yeah, I imagine Kita will choose tanks.
Yeah, it's been the most common one.
I don't know. I guess
recently.
he already has a Viking, so he might try to take air superiority. I don't know. That's tough.
I've won so many games I had no business of winning by going for mass tanks, and it takes a long time. It's very slow. It's very painful, but you know, a win is a win.
Yeah, I mean, tanks are surprisingly good versus bio. You give them +2 attack and they one-shot Marines, plus you get the splash damage onto all the surrounding bio. It's really good.
And they're very stacky too.
Yeah, it becomes really tough to clear them. I agree.
Now, usually when you make tanks, you won't stack the tanks right away, so it still looks like you're losing. But this is just what stacking tanks looks like. Like, he's on 3 gas now. He went for the 3rd gas immediately. He's gonna want to.
I think one of the real reasons why he's not stacking the tanks is he could use. I think he could use a little bit of armor on the bio. Like, I understand maybe he doesn't want to spring for the attack because he's just doesn't think he's gonna win through bio play, but some amount of armor I think would really help slow down the fight and help the tanks more damage. But Kita's just on 0-0 for his bio. I mean, he's not.
When I've won with tanks, it wasn't because of my bio upgrades. It was because I stacked a lot of tanks at the planetary fortress, which is what Kita's doing. But it just takes some time, man, because
That's fair.
You went for 3 gas. Like, you need some time before the gas pays off. So it just takes a while. It's slow. But I do want to add. I do want to add that Tamilian is doing the right counter to tanks, which is making them fast.
He's also taking air superiority, right, with his Vikings. Which is nice, because if you have vision of the enemy tanks, they don't have vision of you, then, I mean, that's also going to help you out a lot. Or at the very least, you force out scans from your opponent, and that's really strong.
Yeah, you want to have same Viking count, or 1 more Viking. In this case, he's able to go same Viking count because he has a Raven. The Raven tanks a little bit for the Vikings. So he's been able to win out the Viking battle every time. Very important. You're absolutely right that the vision matters a lot. And you can see now Kita is stacking a lot of tanks, dude. And then he has +2 of them now. He's gonna clear the bio.
+2 is when they really start, like, crushing bio.
But, you know...
Wish he would micro the tanks a teeny bit better, though. He's not turning the siege on and off. Sometimes the tanks are sieging in a bad spot and being forced to re-siege.
Yeah, but Kita's doing, man. He's stacking a bunch of tanks. He's gonna catch
he
his
has
own tanks. But you know,
I will say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
One of the reasons why Kita is doing extremely well here, Tamilian is not adding Hellbats to the back line. And, at least in my opinion. Hellbats are a huge deal in the tank versus tank battle because they soak a lot of tank hits. They really soak a lot of tank hits. You can see that Kita's doing that, and so his composition is just fighting Tamilian extremely well.
Yeah, the Hellbats are very crucial. I'm glad you pointed that out. Hellbats, they tank a lot of hits. They give you vision. They distract the tanks a lot, so it gives time for your
they
tanks
tank
to
a lot of hits.
It does so much.
They're light armor, right? So tanks in siege mode do what, half as much damage? They do like 40 something instead of 80.
Yeah. And the medevac
tank a lot of hits.
So much synergy with the medevac too. But you know, if you get tank pushed, you know what you could do?
Stack back and push in the other direction.
Yep, exactly. You can make your own tank stack.
I don't know. I think Tamilian is dead.
Oh, no, I think Tim
I
can
think
absolutely do it.
I think he didn't add he didn't add the Hellbats when he was ahead, and now he's he might even just die to Kita not sieging. Oh, okay, maybe.
No, no, I think Kita can still lose this. Chameleon still has a bunch of tanks. Look, he's gonna stack a bunch of them now. He's gonna catch them. Now, this is a very big tank line for Chameleon, and he has two upgrades. He's gonna clear everything, and now he has a big tank line, and he's gonna catch the big tank line once again. So this is a massive tank line, dude. I think Kita might have suiciding all his tanks by not sieging them against the Nexus. Might have been a little bit too greedy.
Oh, maybe actually. Yeah, you're right. This is a lot of tanks, but I don't know. The problem is the Hellbats out of Kita is so okay. No. Tamilian finally has Hellbats.
Yeah, but he's losing
maybe
he's losing the Viking count, and that's keeping Kita in the game.
Yeah, he's losing the air war.
Kita has vision while Tim does not. So that means that Tim's tanks are unsieging while Kita's tanks are sieged and blowing up Tamilian's tanks. And now that Tamilian's lost his whole tank stack, that it's looking very bad.
Yeah.
A lot of tanks here. But you know, you get a couple of opportunities when you're going for mass tanks. This is another massive tank line for Tim. I just wish he had a couple more Vikings. And he's been having to scan so many times. But he's ahead on gas. Funny enough.
Yeah. One more thing I wanted to say. The reason why I have less faith in Tamilian's ability to push back is Million put way more money into bio, like just out of this whole game, than Kita did. And the problem with that is that when you are trying to push out, bio, like it dies relatively easily. Then, I don't know. I just feel like Tamilian really needed to focus on trying to hold mid, making his own Hellbats, rather than ever allowing himself to get pushed back. Right now, it's rough. Really rough.
No, dude, look at that! This is an amazing tank line for Tim. That's over, let's see, 6...
That is a huge amount of tanks.
28 tanks, if I'm not mistaken. It's a lot of tanks, dude, and Kita has no business dealing with this many tanks. His fourth gas is about to pay off, I believe. Yep, it's just about to pay off. So this is the moment that Timilian was preparing for. He's ahead on Viking count, ahead on tanks right now. He's ahead on everything. And he's gonna take this, dude. He's gonna kill all these tanks.
Kill all the scans coming down.
Yeah, they're both afraid of losing right now. They recognize this is a very important, crucial moment for the both of them. So they're both scanning to make sure they always have vision. They don't want vision to be the reason why they lose.
Yeah, the funny part is Tamilian's Viking stack was massive.
Yep,
and now he can even drop them to tank for his tanks.
Well, he suicided them all a little bit. He dropped them too far away from the tanks. Oh, Kita not sieging there. He's gonna lose all his tanks. And he added libs too, which I'm not a super fan of when there's this many Vikings, and I know Kita's a little bit lazy on sieging, so I don't like this one in particular.
It's super tough. I mean, that was really close. I mean, Tamilian made that look amazing. I think he is starting to lose steam here a little bit. No, I don't know. It's so close. Holy crap.
Well, the fourth gas is really keeping him competitive.
I don't know if it's a mistake for Kita to be making the libs. Maybe it isn't. First, I thought it was. Like, maybe they're good.
Man, come on. Kita doesn't siege those libs.
Oh, that's true. He was autoing them.
Yep.
But he's winning with auto libs. I don't know what that says.
It's a close fight for mid. It's actually very a nail biter.
It's really close. Yeah, it's really close.
Kita's tanks are just keeping him in this game.
Yeah.
It seems like the tank wars are always being slightly won by Kita. Like
Right,
even
you
in
know what?
positions where Tim has more tanks, better positioning, better Viking counts, and somehow just Kita wins the tank war. I don't understand.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the two, the thing that I noticed, he added a second, no, he didn't add a second Banshee, it was just living for so long. He did add a second Banshee. Oh, one thing I noticed was, I think the double Banshee is actually helping him win the tank wars, because the Banshee is actually surprisingly good damage. When it's left alive and it's just tanks versus tanks, the double Banshee is actually kind of was doing the job.
Oh, okay. Loco Buddha telling me my sound's too low. Maybe I can fix that. Let's
Interesting.
see.
He means your game sound or your voice?
I think my voice.
Just turn yourself up. See if I can I think you can do it in Discord, right? You can either turn yourself up or turn me down. One or the other.
Yeah, I turned myself higher. I don't know if that
You can
makes a
also try
difference.
to
Let me
talk
know,
softer.
Loco Buddha.
It's gonna take a couple of minutes. It's good to get it sorted out now before the Kachar versus match. I'll give it to Tamilian though. He made it look really good there. But yeah. I have no idea how to play this matchup. Yeah. If Tamilian, so because he had a superior bio count, it was kind of important for him to never lose mid, in my opinion. He needed to just make some Hellbats, hold on to mid and never lose it, and I think that he had a pretty easy win. I don't know. Yeah, Hellbats are such a they're such a sleeper unit. Like if you play a lot of 3v3, you'll never think to make never.
The late Hellbat, I think the late Hellbat and just I think that was the main thing, right? That I can point out to, and having too much bio, too little tanks, gassing too late as well. Like Kita was on three gas before Tim had a lot of gas himself before he started gassing. I think those are the main things I can point out. But Tamilian was absolutely owning in the early game.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, Tamilian showed that he had
been
like
the case in the other game as well with ZDZ. He was owning the early game too, and then just like, lack of practice, I think is the main thing. Like a lack of killer sense that you get from practicing.
Sure, can agree with that.
All right, let's go. Game number
You're right.
3.
Like, Tamilian's early game unit composition was just superior. He just crushed his opponent, but just didn't know what to do with his lead.
Yeah, Tim practiced the early game a lot. I think he got, well, he was practicing with Kachar. That's not secret, right? And Kachar was kind of feeding him builds.
What? He practiced with Kachar? Oh, that's why he's losing. I get it. No, I'm just kidding.
He was feeding him builds, right? But Tamilian not able to practice and able to execute the early portion, but then not able to transition that into a victory.
I mean, it's not like that surprising, right? It's a bit hard to know. Like there's no substitute for experience once you like move past like the early game. It's hard. Like it's hard for Kachar to be like, oh, in the 1,000 different things that you could be facing at about the 11-minute mark, you should be doing this. And it's like, like in the first like couple of minutes, there's not that many things for you to face. It's pretty easy to be like, okay, well, if you face this, go do that. If you face this, do that. At 11 minutes, it's like, how do you explain to your opponent if they've made 4 Hellbats respond like that?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. There's so many like different possible scenarios that you can't explain them all. So, at some point, you have to practice and get the feel for it. And now talking about this particular matchup, PvZ, I've never seen Kita play Protoss. Protoss, a race that needs a lot of micro. It's the race that has the least win rate in the whole tournament, right? Like it has the least amount of win rate. And I think suiciding all your stalkers is not it. He just suicided half of
yeah, you noticed that too?
Yeah, he suicided half of his stalkers into the cannon for free, and then suicided his other half of stalkers into lurkers. So I don't think that's how you play CVP.
I have no comment. I have no comment. If he keeps his cannon, he'll be really lucky. If he keeps his cannon, he'll be really lucky. If he keeps his stalkers, he'll be really lucky. If he keeps his stalkers, he'll be really lucky. If he keeps his stalkers, he'll be really lucky. If he keeps his stalkers, he'll be really lucky. If he keeps his cannon, he'll be really lucky. If he keeps his stalkers, he'll be really lucky. If he keeps his stalkers, he'll be really lucky. If he keeps his cannon, he'll be really lucky. If he keeps his stalkers, he'll be really lucky. If he keeps his cannon, he'll be really lucky. If he keeps his stalkers, he'll be really lucky. If he keeps his cannon, he'll be really lucky. If he keeps his cannon, he'll be really lucky. If he keeps his stalkers, he'll be really lucky. If he keeps his cannon, he'll be really lucky. If he keeps his cannon, he'll be really lucky. If he keeps his stalkers, he'll be really lu
Well, Lurker's trying to have a say about it, 19 HP, and the Hydras are going to connect here, and that's it. Bunker's gone,
There we go.
and yeah, I think Kita's just dead here.
Das is dead.
Like this
You
is
can't.
this is the race where you need to micro the most, and Kita's a little bit lazy when it comes to micro.
Yeah, he didn't cast Revelation on the Lurker before the Oracle died. It's fine. Listen, Nova, it's not that Zerg is OP and Protoss is hard. It's just that Tamilian's so good.
Yeah, it's so he's microing the Lurker Hydra so good. No, but for real,
Yeah.
you do need to micro the Lurker, guys. This is very important. 1v1s, you gotta micro the Lurkers. You gotta manually burrow them. It makes a difference. It gives them +1 range, and that +1 range is sometimes the difference between the Lurker getting attacked by the cannon or not getting attacked by the cannon or bunker. So
Yeah. I think you
just-
can micro
just gotta
tanks
do
too,
it.
can't you? They get a little extra range if you force them.
I'm not sure
Pretty
about
sure you
tanks,
can.
but Lurker,
Okay, I don't know.
1000%. You gotta siege them manually, guys. It's a pain in the butt, but you gotta do it. +1 range is a big deal. That's usually an upgrade you spend minerals for. In this case, you get the +1 range for sieging. Just keep pressing the burrow button as hard as you can. Make all the Lurkers siege.
Kita has decided now to micro. But decided to micro when he's in a position where he can't win anymore. So
Well, describe micro because I just see him suiciding stalkers over and over again.
well, I mean, to be fair, we could give Kita the benefit of the doubt and say maybe, okay, once he saw the Lurker and his tier 2 wasn't finished, decided to throw away the Stalker and try to let Zerg push him into cannon and generate a stack, and then maybe Zerg just, came with a bit too much force and killed cannon. Like, we could probably give Kita the benefit of the doubt and say maybe that happened, I don't know. It's at least plausible, right? Man, losing these Oracle without casting Revelation is not good, though.
Well, he even made an observer because he's not
Yeah.
anything.
That's just buying 3 detectors is
You know, it's like you're playing Stukov and Commanders. You buy the Brute Queen because the Brute Queen gives detection, right? But you gotta manually micro the Brute Queen, the Queen, so it gives you detection. It's the same case in Protoss here. You gotta manually revelate with the oracles, or there's just no point in making them. Like the whole point of an oracle is that it's only 40 minerals more expensive than an observer, but you get stasis ward. First, you get stasis.
Get so
ward.
much.
Yeah.
You get so much for buying the Oracle.
You get
Holy
revelation.
crap.
You get a unit that
It attacks.
has more HP, right? Like it does just so much more than an observer.
Oh, Oracle's actually really awesome. I love the Oracle.
Yeah.
We'll say this though. Or do we just go to game 4 or what's the plan here? He's not winning this. I'm not even concerned that he might. Like even with all these Colossus, it's just happening.
Yeah, you can see like the Void Rays kind of tank for the Colossus. It makes the Colossus be able to fight ground first. And the Corruptors are so distracting attacking the Void Rays, but then once the Corruptors die, you can see like all the Colossus immediately follow suit.
Yeah. Like if Tamilian was ahead right now, yeah, it'd be a different story, but sorry, if Kita was ahead right now, I meant to say it would be a different story, but yeah.
Nova's too quiet.
I heard Loco mention that.
Let me know if
One thing we can do is let me go to Discord because I think there's actually 2 different volume settings for like you
No,
as
but
an
my
individual.
voice
I would say
doesn't-
me, but I'm trying to point out you.
no, but my voice has nothing to do with Discord though.
Which
My voice has absolutely nothing to do with
no,
Discord.
but my voice is being picked up through Discord. So there's so that's what I was trying to say. There's
Yes,
2 different volume settings.
But your volume
You
is
can
way lower
adjust
compared
your-
to mine.
I
Mine
could
is at
try
100%. Yours
softer.
is at 80%. I think it's
Let's see
because
here.
I don't know. Maybe okay, guys. I have a daughter. She's been playing with my microphone, throwing it up and down and stuff. She might have like I think she might have switched the setting on like the microphone has like a little wheel bar on it. I think she might have played
Just
with that
turn
a
me
little
down
bit.
more. It's fine.
I turned my I think I turned myself up. I might be a little bit too loud now. Let me know. I think I turned myself
Okay,
up.
yeah. Give it a couple minutes, and yeah, I think there's a delay, right? How long is the delay?
3 minutes.
3 minutes? Okay, well. Good luck. You guys can let us know in 3 minutes. Game is so over. Kita, please. It's like Protoss has a really hard time winning, even if they play perfectly and take the opponent's bunker early. It's like
You're right.
and if you lose your bunker and get pushed back, then I mean, just good luck.
Well, Kita's on Tempest, Carrier, against
Hey, he made like
Corruptor.
very. I mean, to be honest with you, the one thing that I kind of like about the Tempest is
They suck.
they have more or less all of their power without necessarily needing to buy an attack upgrade. Like the Tempest attacks slow and hits hard. So like buying
Does it
attack
hit hard?
upgrades doesn't really matter.
I don't think it hits hard.
It hits like pretty well. It hits hard versus a unit like a Corruptor, which has like if you buy like let's say you buy 2 armor for the Corruptor, it has 4 armor, right?
Bro,
The
it
Tempest
does,
doesn't really care about that.
It does 15 damage per second for 325 minerals. Like Hydra hits hard.
Okay, look. I'm not trying to say that the Tempest is a good DPS unit. All I'm trying to say is you don't need to buy attack upgrades if you decide to build Tempest. The fact that now he's deciding to add
Bro,
carrier
when a
is just
unit
bad.
1/3 the cost does more damage,
Oh.
like something's going wrong, right?
Yeah. But look, my point is that at least the Tempest can damage Corruptor on 0 attack upgrades. Adding the carrier is like, look, he has 0 attack upgrades, right? And the Corruptor are currently on 4 armor. Carrier actually contribute nothing to the fight.
Yeah,
they do. I like, yeah, they're like a medevac would do more in this situation than the carrier do. So.
you're not wrong, which is the sad part. But once you get a couple carrier stacking, you can get the attack upgrades for them, and suddenly you got a massive attack boost.
Yeah. Let's just jump to game 4.
Alright, I'll do X4 speed. This is
Oh man.
looking pretty painful, pretty sad. Like, Tim
It's
just
not
got
happening.
all the, yep, he's got all the right units in all the right places.
Yeah. I mean, also, I will say this, like, Tamilian feels most comfortable with Zerg, too. You can tell, like, Tamilian's play with Zerg is very sharp. Like, he does everything when he's supposed to. You know, it's just very, like, you can see it, right? You can see it in his play. He's very comfortable. Oh, did I lose Nova?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I think you're absolutely right.
I was just like...
Chameleon is mainly a Terran player, Zerg player. Oh, Doggo came on.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say beyond that.
Yeah, no,
Okay, now
the
Tamilian
game was
has...
over. Once I saw Kita pick Protoss, I was already confused, and then when I saw him blinking Stalkers into cannon, half of them, and the other half into Lurkers, like, oh, okay, this dude is about as dead as can be. Alright, guys, TVZ, normally,
man.
Zerg favored. I already see Kita doing some weird shit again. I don't know what to think of this. 1 Queen 2 Roach opener.
Oof.
Let's see how this goes.
Yeah. I don't know about Queen versus Bio. I mean, you know me. I tend to make queens probably more than most players. But
Oh, I think Pax is
no,
a word with
I
you.
like queens. Yeah, okay, sure. But you know, I like queens in matchups like I think they're okay in ZVZ. I think they're at their best in ZVP. Um, I'm not sure the queen is playable versus bio.
Pax would like a word with you.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
he
already
thinks
hear him.
queens are playable versus. I mean, to be fair, I'll say this. Pax isn't here to defend himself on why he might think like queens versus bio. Queens do have one base armor, okay? So it's like, you know, I mean, if you were going, like, let's say you were thinking about making Roach versus Bio, like, there is an argument where it's like, well, you know, the Queen has just as much armor as a Roach, but it also heals. But I don't know, man. It
Okay,
still is
so
pretty.
let me speak
I
on
think it's
behalf
pretty
of
unplayable.
Pax, and then let me be devil's advocate, and then let me say why I don't like it. So the devil's advocate would be
Sure.
that queens are amazing against marauders, which is like not wrong. Like the marauder DPS against queen is terrible. Absolutely.
It's pretty bad.
Terrible.
You're right.
Yep, absolutely terrible. But the main problem I have with queens is like once the liberators come out, the queens are absolute garbage. So that's why I don't like them. It's
Yeah.
not because they're particularly bad against marines, which they're not the best against marines, but they're so bad against libs. Like it's so awful. And normally when I think of making queens, I think of making a unit that will help me like survive a little bit, stack, or maybe like prevent some instant burst
just-
damage. But
Yeah, or just push through the Terran quickly and get to the Liberator.
well, I don't think of the queen for that. So that's why I make Hydras.
Yeah.
Look,
So I'll say this. So
Tim
the
making Hydra. Lib,
devil's
sorry.
advocate would be he is making lib.
Yeah.
You know, you said you're like, oh, the queen is kind of good versus Marauder, right? Because like
Yep.
Marauder DPS isn't that good. The queen isn't an armored unit. Kita has the 2 roaches, right? And so the queen transfuses the roaches, so all of the queen energy gets just converted into roach HP, and yeah, just like doesn't do anything. Tamillion's telling, yeah, he made 2 attack instead of 2 armor.
You can call me on that lib.
Oh.
It's bad siege.
I don't know what he's talking
Yeah,
about.
+2 attack
Yeah.
is good, but the lib siege is.
Alright, we're heading for 2-2. What do you think's gonna happen in game 5? I don't think it even matters if Tamilian has perfect sieges.
No.
Far enough ahead at this point.
Yeah, he can start adding whatever. So fine. I do wish he would start adding some like medevacs, which he is. Maybe some tanks to tank ghost. Just round out the Zerg finisher combo.
Yeah. Ghost in particular, really nice when you're pushing.
Against Queen?
Get the extra
Oh
energy.
My God, bro. So good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. These are not. Oh my god, what is Tamilian doing?
Well, he's super spread, so there's no way he can siege these perfectly.
No, that's fair. Guess it didn't matter either.
No, but he should start thinking of
Um,
adding some different sort of AoE.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh. Queen versus Bio, huh? This one about as well as I thought it was gonna go for Kita.
Well, yeah, Roach Queen opener, not it. I kind of prefer myself going for a heavier Hydra approach, and
Yeah.
trying to trick my opponent into what moment I'm gonna go for Lurker, and maybe catch
Yeah, that's
him
the
off
only
guard.
way I play it.
Yeah, catch him off guard with my Lurker timing. I'll try to make it so it's not predictable, and my other comeback mechanic is Ravagers. I think Ravager against Bio is you can absolutely come back with some amazing bios. That's how I've been able to do it,
Yeah.
even against David Master himself. So that's my preferred strategy.
Zerg has so many nice tools. It's like if you open Hydra and your opponent responds with mass bio, Okay, yeah, Marines are pretty good versus Hydra, but okay, what are you gonna do against my Ravager? Like, did you overmake bio? Or are you dead?
Yeah, look, Tim is rounding up the army
He's
with
got
some
range
tanks.
now.
Yeah, he's got everything. Yeah, advanced ballistics. Yeah, he's got everything. He's gonna win this game so easy.
Like, game 5, let's go. It's time. We gotta get through more show matches before we ask Kachar
Yeah, we only have 30 minutes
Shashka.
left.
Hey, I still don't know how to pronounce Shashka's name.
Well, he said
Is it Pohaka?
Shashka. No, he said Shashka.
Shashka?
He said it means cup.
Means cup. Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
it's a play on words. Instead of having a C, he added a 4. It's supposed to say Shashka.
These mines.
Yep,
Oh.
Sakuraptors added Widowmines.
I know. He was like starting to make progress and then just got absolutely annihilated. Alright, well, that's a thing.
Yeah, this Lurker Corruptor army for Zerg to come back, it hasn't even worked when you're ahead. Like, I don't know how to explain
No.
it. It's so bad, dude.
I don't even really like the Lurker, honestly. Like, Lurker is kind of nice because it either forces out a Scaran or forces out a Raven, and like both of those are like not great for the Terran. Like Lurker are just not really like a fantastic combat unit, you know? I don't know. Just
Well,
like
I think
your opponent made Liberator and like.
you know what's worked for me versus Terran in this mid-game, late-game scenarios, and it's worked more than once. I want to point out. Just sell my whole army and make ultras.
That's actually kind of interesting. You know, it is pretty strong.
It's worked for me multiple times. Where the only comeback mechanic for me against this mass tank, Widow Mine, Boar shit, is ultras. Ultras will push through this ground army like butter, and you have some corruptors to end out the air army, and that's how. I've been able to come back against Kita doing this. I've been able to come back versus David doing this, or just completely end out a game doing this. Yeah, I don't see what else you can do. Like once the tanks start coming out, you absolutely need ultras to clear them. He's trying to go the swarm host count, but like swarm host is one way of doing it, but I don't. When you're so far behind, it's so hard to come back.
Got a lot of people asking for in-house. I've told them that I'm casting games. We can in-house after.
Yeah. Yeah, people would like to play, but we're busy.
Yeah, it won't be long.
Best of. Well, it's not a best of. It's a 9-game showdown, so it's gonna be a while.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see. I mean, I suppose in theory, 9-game show match could take as long as 9 times 40 minutes. But I imagine a lot of those games will end before then.
It's a lot of time.
I know Kachar doesn't.
Well,
Kachar doesn't really like to throw in the towel, but I'm sure Shashka will throw in the towel. That's appropriate.
I have doubts about that.
Let's see here. All right, it's a ZVT for the last match. So Tamilian just crushed Kita with the Terran. Let's see if Kita's. I think Kita's dead.
Alright,
I think Kita's super dead here.
Tim should win this, like in theory.
I think, yeah, in theory,
Oh,
I would
wait,
favor
no.
Tamilian heavily.
Wait, no. What is this?
Oh,
Two queen.
okay.
And he's gonna sell it again.
He sold.
And now he didn't make on units on time. Tamilian
Yikes.
with some massive indecision there, not knowing what to do.
He like saw Kita make queen and lose, and he decided that he wanted to follow suit.
Yeah, it's like, can I lose
He
that
was like,
way
"That
as
looks
well?"
great." I like the roach laying much better.
I hate it. I don't like it
I
at
don't
all.
know. Like if you committed, like he's going 2-2 right now. If he fully committed to Roach Ling, he would crush full bio.
Listen, there's
Nothing bio could
one
do about it.
scenario where I like this. Just one. Because I normally think that Ling Hydra is just superior to Roaches. But
No, I
that's an
totally
opinion.
agree.
But
If he's going tier 2, I don't like the Roaches at all. Like at all. Not even a little.
there's one scenario where I don't mind the Roach. It's like, if you're already planning on making Ravagers at some point, then I think it's okay. Or,
There?
oh, okay, they're there. But I don't like Ravagers this early. Like I said, I would rather try a Ling Hydra approach, try to get middle that way, not with a Swarm Host, just Ling Hydra approach.
Swarm Host.
And
I mean, I don't mind it terribly. Like, he needs to do something to try to force out tier 2 from the Terran.
I like the Ravs, just not. This is a little bit too early for me. Like, he doesn't even have any armor upgrades. Like, I would try to with Hydra and armor upgrades. Because no armor upgrades means you can't win against Terran. Like, you absolutely can't win. Like, he has +1 and you have no armor.
He just bought his first armor now. I agree with you. Like, look how much difference the one armor makes.
Yeah, look, he's already
it's
almost
completely
winning.
insane. It's completely insane.
And he's
He
my
just, like-
god. Tamil landed
Yeah.
the most beautiful bios I've ever seen. All the Marines died.
And game over. Let's wrap it up. let's move to game 6. There's no game 6. I get it.
Like, yeah.
Congratulations to Million. You did a good job. I don't
This
know
is-
if you ever
this is-
watched this.
This is exactly what I mean. If you're making
Million had
Hydras-
he had the reverse sweep. He had the 3-win reverse sweep. He went down 0-2 and then ended 3-2.
Well, this is what I've been trying to say, like, this whole match, right? Where I think if you're losing against Bio and you have Hydras, you can go Ravagers. Ravagers will bow down the Marines, and you can absolutely take it from there. It's like, this is your comeback mechanic. You have to do it in the first 5 minutes, maybe 7 minutes, but you have to do it very quickly. You can't stall for too long. Like, you gotta go very quickly. Some Ravagers don't need a lot of them, but enough to like wipe out
Oh
the
my,
whole board of
Kita. You know, I realized something why Kita actually may have not fought as well at mid when it was like that crucial fight for mid and he like just barely kind of lost to like one Hydra and like a Red Ravager. He has 2 armor in 1 attack. He just bought the 2nd attack right now. He had 1 attack all the way up until literally that second.
Oh, and now Tamilian is losing because why is Tamilian adding Corruptors? Someone explain this for me, please. And second Lurker. This is so bad. Like the Lurkers don't contribute anything.
I hate the Lurkers.
Listen. Alright, I'm gonna explain this. Watch. You want some sort of AoE, right? That an AoE for Zerg is Ravager, Lurker, or Infestor. You want some AoE. Now, if you have Ravagers, you don't need more AoE. You already have it. It's the Ravagers. You don't need to add Lurkers. The Lurker does no damage because there's so many medevacs in the field. The Lurker is doing absolutely nothing. You need Ravagers here. And he already had them.
Friggin' hate
So
Lurker.
if you already have them, you just need to add Hydras. Like, that's it. And if your opponent's adding tanks, then you add Ultras. Simple.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And you don't add an Infestor here because there's so many medevacs. There's so many medevacs. That game was absolutely won by 10. But
It was so won. 600 over 600 minerals in Lurker. Because you also need to buy the range upgrade.
it's 700
Thanks.
minerals, dude. Lurkers are not cheap, right? And they don't really do a lot.
They don't do anything. In my opinion, they do nothing.
You know, read out.
They deal as much damage as a Hydra, DPS wise, but they cost 3 times as much.
Once upon
Could
a
have had
time,
6 Hydra.
I had the same thought as you, that I thought Lurkers were garbage. But
Yeah.
they have their use case scenarios. It's just that they're not as good as people make them out to be. they have their use
Oh,
case
sure.
scenario, but
Yeah,
it's
if it's like 15 minutes into the game, there's a lot of units on the field, the lurker can get a lot of splash damage. That's one thing. When it's like 7 minutes into the game, there's not a lot of units on the field, and the lurker hit 1 or 2 units. It's like,
yeah. These aren't rogue lurkers, right? Like rogue will make lurkers and beat Clem. But we're
I
human
see what
beings.
you're
We
saying.
can't do that.
Oh, sure, yeah. Like in ladder, you're saying lurkers are amazing.
Yeah. Rogue will beat Clem like with lurkers, but we're humans. We here in DS we absolutely can't do that. And lurker is
yeah.
not a good way to beat Terran if you're behind either. Like lurker corruptor is not the way to. You can see he started transitioning into lurker corruptor, immediately loses middle from that immediately, because
Yeah.
it's so bad. Like that's not how you take advantage. Like you want to keep advantage in CVT, you add Hydras, and then you add Ultras when he's going for tanks. That's how you do it.
Yeah. Whatever, dude. This is why when people tell me they're like, make tanks, and I refuse, and then they blame the game on me. I'm like, I wish I could just like forward them a game like this. I wish I could just.
You mean don't
I
make
wish I could just
lurkers?
forward them the game and be like, look, this is what happens.
You said don't make tanks. You mean don't make lurkers?
Yeah, lurkers. Well, when people will say to me like, we lost because you didn't make lurker, and I'm like, nah.
Well, Reed, to be fair, you don't make lurkers in 20 minutes. So, like,
I hate lurkers, dude.
two lurkers.
Freaking hate them.
Two
Freaking hate
lurkers
them.
in like 10 minutes, maybe okay. But
Oh my
7
God.
minutes, it's way too early. You just need Hydras at that point. Like, you need to solidify your game. You need to take bunker first. I think like once you kill bunker, you can maybe add a lurker or two. But if you haven't taken bunker, then you just need Hydras and go for the kill.
I like what Kita's doing too. Kita's now adding Ghost, and you know there's a big difference between a Ghost that's fighting back at their own base and a Ghost that's fighting at the opponent's base. That difference is the Ghost gets 3 snipes. It is so incredibly powerful versus Zerg. You make a Ghost and it can snipe 3 times. Holy crap!
Each snipe is how much damage?
It kills. I mean, it nearly kills a corruptor, or it fully kills a lurker. So,
Steady targeting.
I mean, tally that up.
130 damage. Plus 40 versus Psionic. Yeah, it's a lot of damage. 390, that's better than a Yamato.
It gets. The Ghost costs what? A little over 200, like 220 or 230. I don't know.
235, man.
So
Something there.
it nets way more than its mineral value if it can get off 3 snipes. And Zerg is sad.
If you guys don't hear me louder now, I can make readout a little bit more quieter. Yeah, sure.
And make me a teeny bit. Yeah, just drag me down a little. It's fine. I found on Discord a little bit equals a lot, but drag me down to like 10%. See what that does. see what that does.
Yeah, I could do it. Oh, readout. I have you at 200% on Discord.
Ah, that does explain a lot.
Of course, readout is gonna be louder than I am. Oh my god. Yeah.
Bring me to 100. Bring me to,
Well,
to normal.
They said you were only 10% louder than I am.
Oh, I'm like a little bit louder.
They
Okay,
said-
bring me to like 150.
Yeah, I already did it. So, okay, guys, let me know. So now it makes more sense as to why I'm quieter than readout. I thought it was my little girl messing with my microphone, but
Yeah. So like early on when I was talking about how there's 2 volumes, I was like,
you were absolutely right.
there's like
I was
the
absolutely
OBS
wrong.
volume, and then there's yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's like
I
your
overdid
OBS
it.
settings, and then there's Discord. Yeah, it's fine. Listen, it's okay. I doubted myself.
Yeah, no, I was wrong. You were right.
With a little bit of Reed mixed in. Yeah, I can't believe Million Losses. He played it
Well-
beautifully. He had good micro. He bought armor upgrades. He took mid convincingly. Then
then he had a
Kita used
lurker
some
go up
Jedi mind
there.
tricks. He's just like Kita just like waved his hands in front of in front of Tamilian's face. It was like,
Bro, this is
you will
Kita's-
lose the TV.
Dude, this
ZVT.
is Kita's bread and butter. He's been playing TVZ for multiple years, and he's figured
That's
out
true.
ways to come back with the least amount of effort against Zergs.
With the least amount of effort.
Yes, and
That's a very kind way to say without micro.
yeah, look, Tim even saying it. I don't know why I played 3 lurker. That was a misplay. Yo,
Oh,
yeah,
he
yo,
knew.
1,000%, bro, 1,000%. He should have
knew.
won this game, but so he didn't, and
That's
that
okay.
means
At
he
least
has to
Tamilian
fifth
can
place.
catch himself on his own mistake. That's worth everything. If you know, then
If you know, then you know.
if you know, then you know.
All right, so
So can we take from that interaction? Tamilian wins with Terran in the TVZ, and then Kita wins with Terran in the TVZ. Is Terran OP? We say that definitively.
can I just say they both suck at Zergs? There's some awful Zerg play from both sides. Hey, look, don't get me wrong.
Listen,
Tim's
listen,
bios were
if
amazing.
Shashka was
Let me
here,
get
he would
that
agree
straight.
with me that Terran is OP.
Bro,
Okay, especially in TVZ. What up?
Tim's bios were amazing,
Amazing.
but his
Like, really
strategies were awful.
Yeah.
Unrefined. Kita, shit micro, good strategies.
That was a good summary.
Well, actually, no, I can't say shit micro.
Summarize.
That's wrong.
Can you
That's-
summarize more things? Summarize Game of Thrones and I don't
wait,
know,
one sec.
something else.
Well,
Summarize more things.
I can't say Kita has shit micro. Kita has no micro. He has anti-micro.
Yeah.
But,
Kita, I love you.
yeah, no, I
You
know
gotta-
he's
you
gonna
gotta
watch, so
micro
I
sometime.
gotta throw him some shade, because I know he wanted he wanted he's gonna watch it. I love you, Kita. No, yeah, but he told me he was gonna watch this. He wants to watch the show much. So.
Sure. Yeah.
Throwing shade. I
Yeah,
actually used
honestly,
to
you're
play
right.
with Kita as a
Kita,
teammate.
Kita's got the big brain. You know?
Yeah, he's
Kita's
got
got
the
the
big
galaxy brain, and he just like got the experience and the 1v1 matchups, and he just leveraged. He played extremely well. He came from behind on so many games, so many like all 3 of his wins. He was behind. Well, I guess.
No, okay, dude, you're
No,
talking
yeah, he was
about.
behind in all 3 of them.
So you're talking about this match? No, he's been doing that whole tournament. Whole tournament.
sure,
long.
yeah.
All tournament. You can see inside against everybody he's played. He loses the early game because he makes random, I don't know, stuff, and then he comes back with no micro. Comes back, like out of his galaxy brain plays. Yes.
Sure. Yeah. Would you believe me if I said Kita was a readout smurf? How would that fly?
Well,
Fly
you
well?
actually micro. You put your hands on a keyboard. I don't think he even touches the keyboard playing this game.
He's just got a voice command, and he's just telling it build zealot on E4.
Dude, he clicks
Just
with
like-
his mouse and wins.
Sure. Yeah, that's pretty good. You're telling me Kita plays like Kachar when Kachar is on a laptop? Is that the? Is that the? You know?
I think I've seen him.
Oh man, you know the funny part, I can't believe I just saw Kita win that TVZ. I didn't even want to watch the rest of the match. I was like, all right, let's fire up the next. Let's fire up the next show match.
Dude, I've seen more
No,
micro from
not how that worked
Kachar clicking on a laptop.
On a mouse? Yeah, I was
No,
exactly.
no
yeah,
mouse,
just
on a
using only a
touchpad.
mouse.
He'll have more micro than
Just-
Kita. Guaranteed.
Oh man. Wow, it's pretty good.
Okay,
Now I'm glad I didn't play Kita because I probably would have lost to Kita too, and then you would be explaining to me that Kita doesn't micro, and I'd be like, damn.